this is Fred, Kilo Echo Zero, Delta Sierra Delta, and today we're going to be working on the Rockwood A122TH, and we're going to be switching it over to lithium batteries. Alright, in this short video series, we're going to be changing the Rockwood A122TH from the standard deep cycle batteries or liquid filled deep cycle batteries to a lithium and solar setup. As in the previous video, you saw that I already have the solar panels mounted and do have a sort of solar power setup. But what I want to try to do is I want to convert the entire coach over to solar power. And to do that, we have to first remove the liquid style batteries, deep cycle batteries on the front of the trailer. I'll be removing them, taking the battery box off, and redoing the entire wiring. In this video, we're going to get as far as we can. I'm still waiting on some parts, but we can get rid of some of the stuff that we can get rid of. So stay tuned. All right, here's our battery box here. And then here's the propane tanks. So just to make a little more room, I'll take the cover off the propane tanks. And we'll get rid of this propane tank. This is empty. I probably need to get it filled anyway. Good thing, right? For our camping trip we got coming up. Okay, then underneath this, there's normally some straps here. I've already taken the straps off just to save them time because they are kind of a pain to get on and off. But underneath the battery box here is where we have our two batteries. What I'm going to be doing is removing this entire setup from the front of the trailer, including these two batteries. I'm guessing that they're probably 50 or 60 pounds a piece, probably. And just getting that weight off the tongue and then moving, putting some lithium inside the trailer, I think it'd be a benefit all the way around. I'm not exactly sure how the wiring works, but we'll be checking it out. Anyway, let me get some tools, and we have to get some wrenches and stuff to take these terminals off and get the batteries out of here. So hang on just a second. Okay, with a 9/16 wrench, we'll go ahead and disconnect all these terminals. We'll start with the negative side here. I don't want to ground anything out here. Oh, all right, we'll have to get that when the battery gets out. And then we'll do this negative. Now I disconnected the coach at the end of the season last year because there's a, I think the CO2 and the smoke detector is on all the time. So it drains, it's a constant drain on the battery, and if I'm not going to have it plugged in, it just drains the batteries till they're dead. Alright, so you got all the negatives disconnected. Get the positives out. And this was my external charger I would hook up when I was in storage, or to pre-charge the batteries before a camping trip, make sure they're fully charged. Alright, so there's that charging lead. Oh yeah, these are pretty heavy. It's funny, there's a couple of these nuts in the bottom. I guess whoever had it before me, or the RV place, lost a couple, and instead of digging them out, they just left them down there at the bottom. So we'll just add them to the top of the posts here. Take these and just set them over here for now. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how heavy they are, but any weight we can get off the tongue will be better, I think. So here's our parallel cables that we have. These are oh, here we go. Looks like they're number 6 6 gauge, made in the USA. Pretty nice cables. We'll keep those around. We'll set these over here with the other battery. And then these are the wires that we're mostly worried about, is the ones that are going into, these are, I don't know if you can see them or not. These are the 2 wires that are going into the coach. So we have to trace these and find out where they're going, and that way we can hook the coach up. Here, get the other battery out. And it looks like we have 4 self-tapping screws holding the box on. So we'll tackle those next. And there's just a metal, or a couple pieces of L-shaped steel that are welded to the frame that's holding this box on. So we'll get these. There's one. They're just a self-tapping screw. Find like a gas can or something that would fit up here on a long trip or something like that we could fit up there, because I really don't have any place to store extra fuel for the quad and stuff, so maybe we can repurpose this space for something else. There we go. Alright, well, that's the box off. So you can see there's just a couple of L brackets here that was holding that on. We'll get that cleaned up, and you know, maybe we can repurpose that for something else later. But now let's see what the wiring looks like. All right, it's a little tight quarters down here, but these right here, I don't know if you can see these or not, but these are the 2 wires that came off of the battery here. And we're just going to trace those. This negative wire goes into a looks like multiple, it feels like there's 2 or 3 wires there. This one goes up to the trailer, or I'm sorry, the truck wiring, and then is terminated here for ground, I'm guessing. And then it has a wire, well, that's this wire right here, so it just goes to here for grounding. And this positive wire goes down here, also to the truck, and then comes back here and is hooked into this terminal block here. And then these 2 wires here, this negative here and this positive here, are from the solar input. If you had a solar panel and solar charge controller that you could plug in, it would charge the batteries that way. And then I believe this wire is the only wire that goes in the coach, and it goes through this conduit, and it goes back there, and you can see the wire dipping down. I'm pretty sure that's the wire going into the coach that's feeding the batteries for the coach, or I'm sorry, the power for the coach in the inverter area. But let me do some digging here. Interesting. All right, we'll have to figure this out. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do this now. A little more complicated than I thought it was going to be, but it shouldn't be too hard. I just got to kind of sort it all out. Anyway, let me take some of this apart and see what it looks like. All right. All right, so this red wire right here is the one that's coming from the batteries. From down there, where we just were, that red wire hanging down there. And it comes over here, and it goes up, and it goes into where the, I don't know what you call it, the power distribution center for the motor coach. And then this is the negative coming down to a chassis ground. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this red wire right here and figure out what this white wire is and where exactly it goes. And then we'll just start from there, and that's where we'll start hooking up our lithium system to. All right, so that's what we're working with. Let me, let's go inside and take a look at what it looks like inside. All right, here you go, is inside. A little bit of a mess, to say the least. But this right here, if you can see it, is where the wires are coming up from. So here's our red wire right here. I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's the red wire. If you trace that around, it goes to this wire right here. So this is probably our hot for this distribution center. I don't know what else you call it, but it's you know, this is the panel that's got all the fuses and circuit breakers for the 110 that comes in the coach, and we're only going to mess with the 12 volt side. We're not messing with the 110, 115 side. So anyway, so I think this is the wire that we need to worry about. And then I'm thinking that this is the white wire that's going to chassis ground. And it goes into a big clump. But yeah, that's it. You can see me pushing it out. So this wire is the wire that goes to chassis ground right here, this white wire, and this red wire. So those are the two wires that we kind of, actually the only wire we probably have to really worry about is this red wire, the 12 volt power wire. Yeah, 10 AWD, so AWG, so it's only 10 gauge wire, which is pretty surprising, but that's okay. I'm gonna feed it from the batteries, but I think I got 6 gauge wire, welding wire, so it's multi-stranded, high strand count, pure copper, coming from the batteries this way. So that'll be plenty sufficient, I think, considering that the run is probably longer from where the batteries were to where it is now. So all right, so let's figure out our path. Okay, so what I ended up doing is this is the wire that was hooked up over here to that distribution block right there, and what I did is I just disconnected it, cut the end of it off just so it's easier to slide through that loom. I don't know if you can see it or not, but that's the loom right there, just to make it easier to slide through that loom. And then I just have it pulled through the frame of the trailer, and then we'll pull it out of this inside here. Yeah, just as I suspected, it was this wire right here. All right, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be this wire right here, which I'm right. That's an awful spaghetti mess of wires. All right, let's see here. So we've pulled the red wire out, and this is where it's going to go in. I'm just going to cut this right here, red wire, and that's what we're going to have to hook up to the lithium batteries when we get everything installed. This is the bed area right here. I just want to see what you can see here. This is the bed. I have the beds flipped up. Here's the storage. Right now I'm working on removing this AC ducting. Get into this area a little bit better, be a little bit easier to work on. All right, we're back. I got the, you can see I got all that AC ducting out of the way. It makes it a little easier to see. Okay, so obviously this is this AC unit here. This is a spot that I put in for the solar cables to come in. I'll have to clean this up a little bit better, but this is where the solar cables come in. I didn't really do anything with this space because it was right underneath where the piping was for the air conditioner. And then if you look back here, this is where I have my strapping system for my battery. So I think the batteries will still go in this area. I may have to move these cleats a little bit to fit the two batteries and secure them all in there. All right, I've made a decision on what to do with at least the main battery cables that are going to feed the trailer, the house battery or house power from the lithium underneath the bed. So what I've done is I bought this wire 6 gauge that I just put a couple of larger holes in that drain there for the AC unit. I'm going to have a drip loop on there, obviously, but that just prevented me from having to drill another hole in the floor. And you can see that the wires, I drilled them almost perfectly the size, so there's really no gap around them or anything like that. No insects could get in. It's less of a gap than those holes are for sure. And then I have all the excess out here. I'm really getting too old for this up and down underneath the trailer and stuff. Anyway, so here's the wires coming out from that drain for the AC. You can see the positive here, negative here. And what I did is I just left a pigtail that's long enough that I can get the chassis wherever I decided to put it. There's plenty of room here that I can shape it. And then I took the positive and I ran it right along all this other stuff, and I'll zip tie it, clean it up. So here's the that positive wire that I have, going through all these spots here, going up in here, and I think I'm actually going to put some loom on it. I think I got some loom that I can put on there just for a little more protection or whatever. But anyway, it's going up right through this hole right here that was already there. This is that main negative that's going to chassis ground. I may take that apart and redo that, make it a little bit better. I don't know, we'll see. Anyway, but that's going to the chassis ground, so that's the main ground. And this will be the positive going inside the trailer. And then let me turn this off and I'll go inside and show you where it's going. All right, here we are back in the camper. And then this is our positive line right here. It's coming up from the other side. That's got a hook to this cable right here. So I'll get those two connected like that. One way or another, I haven't figured out how I'm gonna do that yet. I don't really like these dealy bops, but we'll see what I can figure out. But I at least have the wire coming into the trailer. So it's coming in from that floor right there, up here, and then these two will get connected together, and that'll provide my 12 volt. Anyway, that's where we're sitting right now, at least. All right, well, I guess that's about all we're going to do for today. It's going to be like 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Sunday, and I still have to get ready for work for the week. Hopefully the batteries or the other battery will show up here pretty soon. I've got quite the mess to clean up. I don't want to clean it up entirely because I don't want to take it all back apart. So I don't know what I'm going to do about that. But anyway, we'll end this one here, and I'll pick it back up once we have other batteries and we can start making some connections and using some of the wire and show you all that stuff. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a great weekend, great week, whatever it is for you. Hope everyone's all well and all good stuff. And from here, I guess I'm just going to wish you a 73, and I'll talk to you soon.